The Lakers suffer another crushing defeat against the Denver Nuggets, and at this point, obviously, they're down 3-0. They're going to get swept. I thought this series was over when it was 2-0. It was pretty clear at that point that after the emotional game that they lost on the backs of the Jamal Murray game-winning mid-range jumper, that the season was over, that they were going to get swept. They couldn't come back from that. And at this point, the Lakers are like that guy that's really good at talking to girls at the bar, but can never go home with them. They can't close. They just cannot close in these games against Denver. They've had a lead at every halftime. All three of these games, they've won through the first half. They've had the lead at all three of them at half. And they've just collapsed. They can't close. And it's not like it's a new thing. It happened last year too. They've had 10+ digit leads in all these games. They just can't find a way to get through it. They can't find a way to break through and beat them. And obviously, a lot of people are going to throw the blame on LeBron, but this is on the roll. This is on the other guy. Like D'Lo can't score 0. Rui can't score 5 points. It's bad. It's really just bad basketball from the rest of the depth that's on this team. And I'll go out and say it. I was wrong about the depth of this team because it just looked like through the regular season that they were going to be able to play, and they just folded and choked. D'Angelo Russell, he's as good as gone. He's not coming back next year. He's going to get some sort of deal. He'll sign with like a Utah or something like that. That's tough, but that's just the reality of the situation. You can't score 0 points in a game of this magnitude. So it sucks for obviously the Lakers because you're LeBron, you're AD, and you're getting nothing out of anybody else. So I think if you're looking at this roster right now, I'd say only AD and LeBron are safe, and I think everybody else probably needs to you need to look into a trade, or you need to look into making somehow. They have no cap. That's a big issue too. So there's not many people that you can just sign and bring in. You're going to have trade pieces in Austin Reeves and Rui. I don't mind them bringing Prince back. I think he was good for what they asked him to do. But it's tough. Darvin Ham, although I don't think he's as much as of the problem as everybody else does, he definitely needs to go at this point. And it's just because some of the lineup decisions have been terrible. He gets out-coached on a night-to-night basis. He never makes adjustments. There's no like extra factor to him. He's just kind of there. He says the right things in the interview. He's a good post game. He seems like he's friendly with them. He just doesn't have the ability to make the proper adjustments to the flow of a game. And you can see it in these games against the Nuggets. It's like Mike Malone's over there making these adjustments, and Darvin Ham's not doing anything about it. So I would move on from him, and you got to really think about getting a guy that can actually adjust to the environment of a game, like the situations within a game. That's something that Darvin Ham is not good at. Darvin Ham, I think his best strength as a coach is he's like a people person with them. He's good, like I say, he's good with the media. He's good with keeping the players together. But I don't see how you bring him back. So I think that's the first thing they need to do. I would think about moving on with him. It's crazy to even say this, but I would think about moving on with him today before they even play the other game. Like at that point, at least some of these players are going to come out inspired for the other game. There's going to be like maybe an edge because it's just flat. It's dead within that team right now. So that's the first thing you got to do. Obviously, D'Lo's not going to be there next year. He already talked about how he's opting out of the contract. They're not paying him. They're not re-signing him. It was good while it lasted. He had a really, really good year in the regular season. He had a really good game too. He just choked in 1 and 3 of this series. Will probably not be a big of a factor in the Saturday blowout. I do assume it's a huge blowout. That's why I'm making this video now, because there's just no life in that team at this point. It doesn't matter if it's at home. And the fact that they've led at half in every single game, they're due to not. And I think it's probably like a 20-point game tomorrow. But I think that needs to be done. And then I think you need to think about packaging Reeves, Hachimura, and maybe some of these picks for possibly the Trae Young trade. The only thing I don't like about Trae Young, which I think he'd be a good addition for sure, but he's not a really good off-ball player. He's a really dominant, shooter and all that, but he's not a great off-ball player. And I think when you're with the Lakers, key parts of your game, especially if LeBron and AD are there, you need to be good in the off-ball situations. So I don't see that, but it would definitely be an upgrade to the team. At that point, I do worry about you're going to have absolutely no money. Who are you going to put around him? But I'm sure you could figure something out at that point. And then, but the trade that I would really like to see them do, but it's far-fetched. If they were to get Donovan Mitchell, that would be awesome. That would be something that could put them back in the title conversation. I don't know how they're going to get him, but that's the guy that I would probably want to target and go after if I were the Lakers. But yeah, like I said, disappointing end of this year. It sucks. They got the Nuggets in the first round. They would have beat OKC in a series, because if you look at it, like I said, for the majority of these games, they've outplayed Denver. Denver's probably going to win the title this year. And, I'm still not defending them because, like I said, that they haven't played great in these games, but it just shows how scary it could have been, because you have them leading at every half of these games. You have, it was there. They got the roll into and they wouldn't have gotten past. They were going to have to play Denver at some point anyway. The problem with this is it's the first round and you have nothing to hang your hat on. There's going to be a lot of changes, but that's pretty much going to wrap up what was a disappointing year with LeBron, AD, and the Los Angeles Lakers.